Today, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Maximillian Kolbe. Saint Maximilian is also known as the patron saint of radio operators, broken families, and prisoners. He was a Polish Catholic priest and a Franciscan friar who volunteered to die by the German Nazi during the Second World War. He was born on January 8, 1894, and his birth name was Raymond Kolbe. When he was 13 years old, Saint Maximilian and his older brother entered the Franciscan order. In 1918, he was ordained priest and had numerous missions in his priestly life. Around the summer of 1927, a duke in Terrasson offered him land where he built a small friary which would later become a basilica. He then went to China, Japan, and in Malabar, India, where he helped build Franciscan monasteries to spread Christianity in the Asian continent. In this mission, he also published newspapers and established radio stations where he could broadcast news about religion and preach the word of God. At the outbreak of the war in 1939, he returned to Poland, where he organized a temporary hospital and a monastery that was sheltering over 2,000 Polish refugees. But after 2 years, the German authorities ordered him to shut down the monastery. Saint Maximilian and all the refugees were arrested. They were brought to Auschwitz concentration camp, and Saint Maximilian became prisoner 16,670. In his prison cell, he would inspire his fellow inmates to pray and remain strong in their faith. Even the guards would often witness him kneeling in prayer, despite being starved and without water. In July 1941, one prisoner escaped from the camp and the German deputy commander got furious about the prison break. Then the deputy instigated a punishment to deter the prisoners from escaping in the future. He picked 10 men to be starved to death in an underground bunker for 14 days. When one of the inmates named Franciszek Gajoniczek was chosen, he cried out, "My wife, my children." Saint Maximilian then stood up and told the deputy commander to choose him instead of the man with a family. After about 2 weeks of starvation, only 3 of them survived. Then, they were given a carbolic acid injection and died on August 14, 1941. After his death, his body was cremated by the Nazis, where his remains were thrown into the bushes along with other victims. Later on, Saint Maximilian's venerable act led to his sainthood, and he was canonized by Pope John Paul II on October 10, 1982. In his canonization, Franciszek, the man he had saved and who was then a survivor of the concentration camp, attended the ceremony together with his wife Helena. It was a deeply emotional moment as Pope John Paul II embraced him, sharing both their sorrow and their reverence for the occasion. Then, the small monastery which he built became a basilica dedicated to his honor, and it is called the Basilica of Mary Immaculate and Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Today, Saint Maximilian is venerated as the patron saint of radio operators, broken families, and prisoners. His feast day is celebrated every 14th of August. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.